Warning, brave adventurer. This episode of Echoes of Honor may contain adult language or adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everybody. Hello there, welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see your gorgeous faces. We are here, we are back, we are playing the Cosmere RPG Echoes of Honor campaign. My goodness, do we have an awesome session for you tonight. Sorry we weren't here last week. We had a few chops and changes at the last minute. I was coming back from a conference. There were some delays to flights and things like that. The entire Sydney airport, I think multiple airports went down because of a glitch in some system on the Monday and Tuesday. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened. Unfortunately, we weren't back in time to get up and running on the Monday, but we are here now and we are ready to rock and roll. We also have Matt back with us. Matt, welcome back. I know we've already said hello to you in Return of the Giants, and we've heard all about Japan and your fun times there. But for those who might not watch our D&D campaign, favorite memory from Japan? Go.
I think I said it in the Return of the Giants stream, but I think it was the seeing the autumn colors beginning to come in was beautiful and just, very picturesque. And also getting to see Mount Fuji on a clear day was a bit of a highlight.
Fuck you. Yeah. I wasn't able to do that when I was there. So seething with jealousy, I am once again.
Doing it for the both of us, man.
Yeah, thanks. But we are very excited to have you back. We also have a new face. So those of you who are watching on YouTube, watching on Twitch, you will be seeing a new face in the overlay. I will introduce Rory's character once we jump into the session. But for now, Rory, I'd like to welcome you to the Lost Archives. Officially welcome you to the Lost Archives. How you doing, man?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Feels good to be here. We had a bit of a storm earlier, but
we did.
Our house didn't flood for the first time, so that's always
Fuck
good.
Yeah, winning. Yeah, we also didn't flood here, actually, I've got to say, which is quite exciting. Not like we don't normally, but we didn't this time either. Although there was some very impressive hail, and one of my neighbours, not immediate neighbours, but neighbours a bit further away, I think they might have had their windscreen smashed from the looks of things, which is a bit awkward and sucks for them, unfortunately, with the hail. That is rather unfortunate. Yeah,
I ran outside and I was trying to divert the flood water away from the house for a little bit, just getting pelted by hail, so that was fun.
Nice. You have to take some photos of some bruises later, because some of those hailstones were particularly impressive, I've got to say. Like some of the ones I saw were, I was impressed. It was decent hail. It came out of nowhere, that storm as well.
Yeah.
It feels like old proper Queensland storms. I think for a while we've had these like slow moving.
They're happening like bi-weekly.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's the bit that's not great. That's the climate change effect right there.
I feel like I'm just noticing them more since I became a homeowner. Maybe that's the difference.
No, they are more frequent for sure. Definitely. But yeah, the pretty crazy storm. A high storm rolled over Australia, specifically the East Coast not too long ago, and we all got to experience it. So I feel like I've got the mental image right now to describe a high storm, which we may see tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Awesome. So in terms of fun news to share, that's pretty much all I've got before we start the session. So, we do have two quick apologies. Josh, I think, is either running late or so late that he might not be joining us. I think he was not 100%.
I don't think Josh
sure.
is gonna.
No, he's not. He's not going to join us. There we go. I can see the update. He is ill. That's okay, Josh. We love you. Gark will just have to do something else. Maybe set up the mercantile aspects of what he was planning to do in the meantime. And Raph was going to join us, but Raph has not responded, so I'm hoping everything's okay with Raph. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all good. We do, obviously, Tom has had to step back from the campaign for a little bit. He's all okay, all good. He's just had some stuff come up that he's got to go deal with. We will be seeing Tom and his character Mickey again in the future. For the meantime, I will be playing as his character. We'll have Mickey as an NPC, and Rory's character might have a bit of a connection there as well. So we'll see that once we jump in. But that's all the news I have to share. So let's do our recap. Let's jump into the session as we begin. Our story started on the western edge of the Shattered Plains with Gark, Mickey, Neivien, Rav-eth, Alaran, and Ztar, survivors of a brutal attack upon the Bethab caravan in the night. With the group having now made their way to the Aelthi war camps on the Shattered Plains, they have soon found themselves embroiled in the political machinations of the Light Eyes. While Neivien, Alaran, and Mickey made their way to Bethab's war camp to try and alert the High Prince of the plight of the caravan and its few remaining survivors, Gark accompanied Shin merchant Tazo through the outer market. Meeting with Tazo's master, Exio, Gark soon found himself agreeing to work with the duo in retrieving a stolen gemstone, one cut in such a way as to hold Stormlight almost indefinitely. Back at Bethab's war camp, Neivien and Mickey met with Bright Lady Darla, Chief scribed to the High Prince and attempted to explain their situation and what had befallen the caravan. After some initial distrust, the group were able to help organize a rescue party of Bethab soldiers and still keep some of the information and their suspicions secret, the High Marshal Peligan dispatching hand-picked soldiers for the mission. Alaran, however, was present only for part of this conversation, having been pulled away to speak with an older Ardent who seemed to recognize him. Ztar, meanwhile, decided to use his appearance as a parshman to help infiltrate the Thanadel war camp, soon finding himself in the command center serving wine to Bright Lord Rezi, the man the teams suspect is the shard-bearer who attacked the caravan. Overhearing a conversation between High Prince Thanadel and Rezi, Ztar heard mention of a conspiracy and the need for Rezi to overcome the shame of his duel against Adelan Colin to serve some greater purpose. With their individual escapades now completed, the team have reconvened on the steps of the command center building in Bethab's war camp, Gark sharing the supplies he and been given by Exio to assist in the group's efforts. As the others began to rummage through their new gear and equipment, Ztar suddenly spotted a strange spren, appearing as a rift of starlight in the air, the spren speaking to him. "Ztar, you seek justice." And that is where we left off last session. We're going to jump straight back in. To place you guys once again, all of you are on the steps leading up to an enormous soul-cast building made of stone, rising up in the very center of Bethab's war camp. It is late at night now, heading into the late evening, almost towards midnight. You can see there are still a few people moving around. The war camp's never truly going to sleep, but compared to the busyness, the bustle of before, it is now much quieter in the war camps. Gark, Neivien, Alaran, and Mickey are all sort of clustered together going through this pack of supplies that Gark has brought over from his meeting with the merchant Exio. Ztar, as you sort of turn to move away, not really grabbing any of the gear or equipment, instead sort of taking yourself away from the party for a moment. As you look up towards the starlight, you see a patch, almost like a shimmer, moving strangely closer. You then realize it is a spren. Its appearance like a split in space, stars glinting on the other side like a rift. And as it moves closer, it's about 20 centimeters tall, about 5 centimeters wide, and the stars almost flicker as the spren's voice echoes from inside this rift-like appearance. I hand over to you.
I mean, high spren are a bit more abstract than other
regular
other types.
spren. Yeah.
I mean, to the point that I don't even remember what exactly they're like a cognitive aspect of. Would a high spren be something that I would know about or have encountered as a singer/listener?
This is exactly the question I was going to ask. If you want to try and identify this, do you want to make for me I'm going to say this falls under deduction or lore? Your choice.
Let us. I mean, both the same.
As we make our first test of the night.
I think on lore is probably the what a singer would use for this, or particularly one of listener background.
That makes sense to me.
Like a usual
10.
Harrison form.
Ztar, you have heard of many, many different types of spren. Your time with the listeners, your nature as a Parshendi, as a singer, gives you access, grants you the sight to see spren in their truer forms, how they manifest in the physical realm. You've never seen a spren like this. You do not know what this spren is, but that's not unusual. There are so many different types of spren. That's not an unheard of thing for you not to recognize this spren. The fact that it's talking to you, though, is interesting. As a singer, you know that there are intelligent spren that can converse and speak as if they were singers, as if they were people. This seems like one of those spren. Its specific type, you don't know.
But I mean, I would be kind of semi-aware that the spren that can form the bond, the Nihil bond, are like they've not been around for a good long while.
they're only spoken about in the stories and songs passed down of your people. And the songs, I'm going to say, like with a 10, the songs speak of ancient spren, of a betrayal, and of an abandonment of the singers. Beyond that, you don't really remember much else.
Well, then I responded, Spren, yes, I seek justice.
You follow the laws.
That would give Ztar a lot of pause. I think I try, but the laws cannot be all. In my experience, they have been found wanting. I seek to be better, more than the law. When the law fails, we must be the law.
It is enough. I will observe. And with that, you watch as the patch of starlight slowly closes, like an eye blinking as it vanishes from view.
Are any of the other guys and gals around?
They're all around. They're just kind of going through shit, like really excited to pull open a whole bunch of sick loot that Gark has provided them. You can see Alaran is trying on a new jacket. Fits quite well, Alaran. Yeah, I mean, Neivien is currently pulling out a whole bunch of various supplies that look like they could be used in the construction of Fabrials. The team look really happy with what they found.
Is Matt's character there?
Rav-eth is not with you guys yet. Rav-eth is...
Yeah.
Don't worry, Rav-eth will be joining you shortly. Rav-eth is still out on the Shattered Plains with the remainder of the caravan, trying their best to help people.
Mickey's still there, right?
Mickey's still with you. Mickey is currently sort of looking around, pulling out some pots and pans.
And seeing, how he's been around, Horneaters are a bit more Spren reverent. The listeners don't revere the Spren, but they're more.
You respect them.
Yeah, more like a partnership there rather than just a existence. But so I'll tend to be like, Mickey, did you see that? Did you see the Spren?
Oh, Ztar, sorry, I was paying attention to packs of things Gark has given. I did not notice. What did you see?
Never mind. It is not important. I'll kind of go off to the side and start staring up, trying to clock if I can spot which of the stars it is. Yeah, easy. As the rest of you gather your supplies, Alaran, is there anything in particular you'd be doing? Otherwise, we should quickly chat about your interaction with the Ardent.
I think the name was Aaron.
Aaron, yeah, that could be right.
Aaron.
Yeah. I've got it here. Thank you. Once I can search for something, I can find it easily. Yeah. Arran. Yes. So your interaction with the Ardent. This is what kind of pulled you away during the conversation while Neivien and Mickey were speaking with Bright Lady Dala. You were sort of pulled aside by this Ardent. I'm not going to do the whole role play unless you really, really want to. But essentially, Aran was one of your tutors back in the back at your homestead, back at your I want to say chateau is kind of my vibe of Alaran's kind of upbringing. He hasn't seen you in many years. He did his best to kind of train you a little bit in politics, a little bit of swordplay, but he was only there for a few months before he had to leave. But the two of you formed a pretty close bond during that time. He was very gentle and patient when your father was most definitely not. When your brothers most definitely were not. To see a friendly face here is probably quite good. He does pull you aside to give you a bit of a warning, essentially that he overheard a little bit of your conversation with Bright Lady Dala, and you need to be careful not to overplay your hand, is his little piece of advice, his gentle piece of advice to you.
Yeah, I think that as we were leading up to that conversation, the rest of the party had kind of communicated to Alaran to be quiet, and he was in that drunken stupor of medicated like haze, and I think he just kind of had that calm hit him for the first time, which was really weird because we're heading into like the most tense situation, and I think it was kind of like he was in that kind of blissed out state, and when he sees the Ardent, he's kind of like, yeah, cool, someone I know. And for the first time, he's slowed his movement again, and that anxiousness isn't like playing through for him.
I'm rather busy at the moment, me boy, but I'll come by and check in on you. I'm sure you'll have some lodgings while you're here. Dala will organise that. Sounds like your friends have already been in conversation with her. I'll come by and check on you tomorrow.
It's good to see you. I didn't expect to find you here.
No, I posted all over. I'm here at the moment, helping to keep an eye on some of the lads, some of the other sons of noble families. Everyone's here at the Shattered Plains now. This is a far more bustling place than it was a few years ago, let me tell you that. Word of caution, watch your back. Are you here, my boy? Okay? I'll see you in the morning. Come by and check on you some point tomorrow.
Sounds good.
As you reconvene, Neivien has been given some details on where you guys can get lodging. You've been given access to a couple of rooms over near the edge of the war camp. Unfortunately, the state of the war means that there are lodgings spare for those who need them. And as you guys head on over and take your long rest, we're going to jump over with Rav-eth and Hula, Rory's character.
Ooh,
Rav-eth,
exciting.
since the party left you and the ruined caravan, or what was left of the ruined caravan out on the Shattered Plains, you have been working your hardest to try and save these people, those who were injured. You know a high storm is probably only a day or two away, given the last one that rolled across was about 4 or 5 days ago. At any moment, another high storm could arrive. Currently, you're sheltered in an alcove just off the main pathway, about half a day's walk away from where the caravan was attacked. As the day wears on, you hear the sound of singing or whistling, Hula? Or are you like whistling through your teeth? Is it like
Whistling through my teeth.
like a very toneless kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Hula, your journey to the Shattered Plains has been mostly done on foot. You have faced some dangers since coming down off the mountain. There are bandits that spy a lone Horneater, and originally when you had some of your gear and some of your items on display, you were seen as a bit of an easy mark. Those men now lie dead in the chasms that they use to try and launch an attack on you. But since then, you've been keeping yourself a little bit on the lower end of noticing, keeping your stuff hidden underneath a very large blue scarf covered in beautiful textures and beautiful patterns, making yourself look a bit older, a bit more infirm, not worth the effort, is kind of the vibe you've been going for. And as you come around a bend, you don't know exactly how far away from the Shattered Plains you are, but you've been following boot tracks, a large number of boot tracks leading along what you approximate is the direction you need to head into. And as you come around this corner, you can see sheltered underneath an alcove in the stone wall rising up along the right-hand side. Looks like a large plateau has lifted up or been pushed up by some great force in the distant past. There's an alcove with about sort of 10, 15 people huddled around a campfire. And an Natan, pale blue skin, white hair, dressed in this very unique kind of patterned hide armor, moving amongst them, checking on them. Rav-eth, as you look up, you spy Rory's character, Hula. Rory, would you like to describe what Rav-eth sees as they spy Hula?
Yes. So, quite a tall man with red hair, and a sort of mustache, but no facial hair underneath it. As you said, I'm sort of trying to go a bit more incognito at the moment, so I'm hunched over a little bit. I'm not doing big strides. I'm not that confident. I'm just sort of whistling with my hands concealed underneath my big scarf and clothing. got my knapsack, and I'd just look like a disheveled traveler who's had a rough few days, basically.
Yeah, and I will, while I remember, get your character art up on screen so everyone can see it in all its glory, up on the overlay. We should specify you are a Horneater. And if you had to estimate your age, what would you say people would assume looking at Hula? We've got some greys through the hair, so a little bit older than...
Yeah, a few greys going through, probably in the 40s, maybe 45. Around about there. They're quite old. Clearly like a father, not a young warrior anymore. Quite unthreatening is the look I was sort of am trying to portray at the moment. But
feels
anyway,
like a warrior Nigel Thornbury is the impression I get when I look back at the character right now. Which is not what I was intending. Not what I was intending when I drew it, but now I can't unsee that.
Smashing! To be fair, Nigel Thornbury was a bit of a warrior himself.
Oh man,
so.
Yeah, warrior for my heart. As you two spy each other, Hula, you see this group of injured mixture of like soldiers, a few soldiers dressed in this burnt orange and red livery. Definitely Aelthi from the looks of them. Do you have the Aelthi expertise by any chance? The cultural expertise? Yeah.
No, I did not.
You've got no fucking clue which high prince they belong to in that case. Just some Aelthi, and then this Natan moving amongst them. A few Theylan merchants as well. You can tell by the distinctive long eyebrows. And then there's this Natan who suddenly sort of stands up, spying you as you just sort of stop there, looking at each other across the gap in the road, about sort of 20 meters away from each other. I hand over to the two of you.
Yeah. Well, I would probably walk over. I'm still quite sheepish and slow, and be like, "Hello there. What's going on here? What's happened?"
Oh, hello. My name's Rav-eth. This little unfortunate caravan here was we were ambushed by a Aelthi noble house. My new friends went on to the war camps to try and find help, but I've been here tending to the wounded since they departed some days ago. What brings you out to the Shattered Plains? Are you heading to the war camps yourself? Are you well?
Yes. I'm on the hunt for my nephew at the moment, who's currently rolling amongst you oxygen lovers down here on the lowlands.
Well, okay. Well, I think a high storm is not that far away. I don't know if you'll be able to make it to the war camps in time. You might be best here with us for a while. Perhaps some shelter would be good.
That's mighty generous of you. That's more than I've been offered from many people in your situation so far on my trip down the mountain. No,
I'm surprised you did not see the bodies of the caravan further along.
Yes, I wasn't paying that much attention to them, to be perfectly honest. I was on my own zone walking through.
The caravan was partly off the road. You guys had sheltered in a ravine, so it's not crazy that Hula didn't see them. It is. I mean, you would expect there to be some interest potentially if there was some like signs of people leaving the road that Hula would have taken. Look, doesn't sound like Hula gives a shit, to be honest.
Yeah. And truth be told, after a bit of trouble earlier on, I've been a little bit off the road myself, keeping it in eyesight, not staying out of trouble.
That's wise, I think, given the situation, given the area. I don't have much in terms of, well, we don't have much in terms of rations or any sort of, but again, the shelter is, you're welcome to it. I just hope that my companions are able to return soon. Yes, the wounded here, some of them will be able to move, others not so much. It'll be, yes, it's like I said, I'm doing my best, but yes, it's been a tough few hours, well, a couple of days now.
It has only been hours at the moment.
Only hours? Okay, I'll record that a little bit. It's been a tough couple of hours. They should be back soon.
Feels like days.
Feels like days. Feels like weeks.
Well, I don't know much about medicine, but I can help lift and carry and help you with any of the wounded as you needed in exchange for your kindness.
Well, that would be wonderful. I think most of the strong ones headed off to the camps, so yeah, another strong body around here would be useful.
Yes, always ready and able. The Horneater way.
Indeed.
As Hula flexes his quite muscular arms, you do catch a glimpse of some pretty solid muscles underneath the surface. And it'd be fair to say, Rory, that Hula kind of straightens up a little bit, no longer keeping up the act of being a bit old and infirm.
So it's definitely feeling more comfortable.
This is a powerfully built man, Rav-eth. This is a warrior.
Oh, my. We had a Horneater actually in my group.
You don't say.
Yes,
What
I
was
think
his
so.
name?
Anyway, I believe his name was Mickey, maybe.
Mickey, that happens to be my nephew. That's who I'm down here looking for.
Oh,
Yes. Where? And you say he's gone on?
yeah. He's just. I believe he's with the others down at the war camps, so
Right.
not that far away.
Well, a friend of Mickey's a friend of mine. I believe I'll be staying with you.
Mickey
might
fought
extend-
valiantly during the attack. He protected many of the survivors here.
That sounds just like him. Hopefully he's managed to keep all his limbs.
I believe so. And if he lost them, I would have helped to have reattached them.
You can't do that. You don't know how to do that. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
He didn't say succeed. He said nothing about succeeding. Just
He did say try to
You
reattach
try.
them. That's a good point.
attaching them is very easy. Having them work afterwards is the
Yeah.
hard.
Well, it's funny you mention that because there's an older grizzled Aelthi man over towards the campfire, Hula, who you can see one of his arms, his left arm, is hanging uselessly by his side, and the skin from just above the elbow down towards the fingers is completely grey. This man's had his arm cut by a shard blade.
Right. So I can see there's a shard blade here. That explains why Mickey was nearby.
It was, yes. The shard bearer came and was part of the attacking force. It was truly horrible. I don't know if you've seen a shard bearer in action before, but
No, I haven't had the honor. I spent most of my life on the peaks.
no. Well, I even in my traveling, I haven't seen many shard bearers, or I've only heard of them in stories around the campfire.
Seems an odd thing for a shard bearer to attack a caravan of this size.
That's what I thought. We had an Aelthi among us, some sort of noble, I guess. I don't really make much of him, but he seemed to be a fledgling of some description. He seemed to think that maybe it was some sort of infighting. I'm not really sure. Perhaps if you see him, he might be able to tell you himself. But I try to stay out of all of that. I just travel the roads myself.
Yes, let's chalk it down to oxygen sickness for now, shall we?
Yes, absolutely.
With that, as Hula, you go and join the camp, the survivors tell you a very terrifying tale of bandits, soldiers in the night attacking as a group, and then this shard bearer dressed in a full shard bearer, armor painted black, descending on the caravan, carving through people before leaping up to the edge of the ravine and carving through the top of the ravine. Massive amounts of stone and debris hurtling down, destroying the caravan. A lot of people grateful to the group. If you mentioned Mickey, a lot of them grateful that Mickey stepped in to save them, and grateful for Rav-eth, who has been working hard. You can see a lot of these people have been injured, but have been actually pretty well cared for. Well, Rav-eth, could you please... I realize I probably shouldn't make an assumption. Rav-eth, could I please get you to make for me a medicine check to see how well you've taken care of these people?
Well, that's a good thing, because that's actually what I've been specking into. So I will roll and hopefully roll well. So
This will be a moment of truth.
Cool.
I believe.
I'm just getting used to the new.
I know. If you jump into Roll20, yeah, there you go. Nice. That's a 2.
That's an 8.
That's a 2.
Yeah, and a plus 6, right? That's pretty good, right?
Rav-eth, it's not. It is not your effort or your skill that has been failing you here. It is more the lack of supplies. You are out in the middle of nowhere. You've had to make do with what you've got. There's no antiseptic. You're dealing with bandages that you're tearing from clothes, from cloaks, from uniforms. You've had to cauterize some of the wounds to stop them bleeding. There are rot spren still gathering around a number of these wounds, these red mite-like creatures, semi-translucent, crawling over the infected wounds. People trying to sort of not brush them away, but I mean, you know these things are a bad sign. These people are going to need some more professional help and some more professional supplies pretty soon.
Yeah.
As the evening wears on, you begin to hunker down and prepare for sleep. you hear the sound of hoofbeats coming from the road ahead. Emerging from the darkness, a group of Aelthi soldiers dressed in the same uniforms as those who are currently sheltered around the campfire begin to rein their horses in, jumping off, rushing over to look at the group. It is a contingency sent from the Shattered Plains by High Marshal Peligan, who have been sent to locate you and bring you back to Bethab's war camp. Moving along behind them is a Chull-drawn wagon for the rest of the for those who can't walk. The soldiers offer to ride those of you who are hale and hearty enough to ride back towards the camp. The rest will be kept under guard and brought back via wagon as quickly as possible. Rav-eth and Hula, if you accept, you jump on the backs of horses with some of the soldiers clutching on behind them as you are essentially ridden. As you are. What would be what's the rodent? What's the verb here for when someone you ride with someone back to camp? There is no specific. I don't think there is one. Straddled. You straddle the men back to camp, Rory.
Ridden is a word. It's usually used in a slightly different context.
Yeah, I know. I don't think there is an appropriate one here. As you accompany the men back to camp. We are going to jump back in. As you get back to the camp, it is early morning. You are pretty exhausted. You had a bit of a chance to rest around the campfire, so you're full health and everything like that. But as you arrive in the morning, it is quite early morning as the two of you emerge inside the campsite. As you walk up towards the guards will direct you towards where the rest of your companions are staying, Rav-eth. As soon as you introduce who you are, High Marshal Peligan has left instructions for where to take you and what to do with you for the meantime. And as you are brought over to the rest of the group, Ztar, Alaran, Neivien, and Gark, it is very early morning when you hear a knock at the wooden door to your accommodations, and in strides Rav-eth and Hula, emerging from outside, looking a bit road dusty, a bit weary, but unharmed and safe, back before the high storm could strike.
Hello?
Sorry, is Mika with them?
You watch as Mickey slowly sort of emerges, rubbing sleep from his eyes. He goes, "Oh, it is too early for this. Who knocks?" And then sort of looks up and sees you, Hula.
Mickey, my boy!
Uncle! As he rushes over, pulls you into a big embrace. Yeah, big embrace.
I think you would both use your full Unkalaki names, and I would like to hear you pronounce them.
You would. I'll pull open Tom's right now. He has told it to me.
Okay. Oh wow.
Hang on. Here we go. I will pull it open. We had a bit of a play around with different. Oh God, where is it? While I find that, do you know yours?
Yeah, Haz, why don't you ask who I am?
I probably wouldn't. I'd be standing off to the side, not knowing you, pretending to be a parchman. And
Sure.
parchman
Okay.
All right. Well, obviously, you know who I am. Does someone else want to sort of ask who I am or what's going on? Who's the straggler?
I'm gonna say Neivien goes. Neivien goes. Who's your? Did you say your uncle, Mickey?
And I'll give Mickey a pat on a big thump on the back because I'm a bit bigger than him, and go, I can't believe my nephew here hasn't spoken about his favorite uncle, Makahula Nim Tora Ki Chika Rovu Anima. Hula to all my friends.
That was pretty good. I'm still trying to find Tom's. I swear it's here somewhere. I've just got to locate it. We've been calling him Mickey in the chat multiple times. Yeah. While I try and locate that.
He's not here. We probably won't make him say anything. You could just make it up and we wouldn't know.
You literally could say anything. And we'd
no, I know, but I want to get it right. But you know my incessant need to do things properly. Oh God! Oh, I found it. Famiki hang on, let me try that again. Famiki Kutukamakima Asamya. Nailed it.
Wow, that was good.
As Mickey sort of nods and looks over, saying his full name. Oh no, Hula would say his full name. Rory, do you want to quickly say that back for Tom? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Mickey.
As you both sort of embrace, you watch as Neivien sort of sidles over to you, Rav-eth, and goes, "It's good to see you're okay. Are you all right? What happened? The soldiers found you okay?"
No, well, not too much. It was only a few hours out in the plains, but
You've been there all night.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right. Actually, no, it was fine. I tended to the survivors as much as I could. I didn't have a lot of supplies. I did my best. But yeah, I ran into this one on the road, and he said he was looking for Mickey. I'm not really sure.
You watch as Gark sidles over Rav-eth and goes, "Well, it's funny you mentioned supplies. Supplies!" As he pulls out a bag and hands it to you.
Oh,
you know
excellent.
Josh would say that. You know Josh would say that.
He would say that. Oh, well, thank you, Gark. This will be useful. But what's happening? What have you all learnt about the attack and about the current state of affairs?
I think Alaran would just put his finger up to his mouth after kind of like the conversations of last night, and knowing that everyone has told Alaran to be quiet, and as Rav-eth goes to speak, he just does a subtle
Okay.
Do we trust the Horneater? I know he is a relation of Mickey's, but
You watch as Mickey looks offended. This is my uncle, Hula. He is a very trustworthy, most trustworthy man I know. Or woman.
Mickey, it's not his fault. He's had too much oxygen.
It is a lot of air down here. There's too much air.
Mm.
No, Hula's good.
You did help at the camp, move some things around for me, and help secure the site. I think it came with ill intent.
I suppose we
Without
have no choice but to trust someone. I assume no one's gone off and done activities and set up deals or done anything and not told us.
Hula. The figure currently speaking, it's all right. Hula, the figure currently speaking, for all intents and purposes, is a Parshman. Now, the Horneaters don't have Parshman slaves. Your interactions with Parshman would be pretty limited, given that I think we've already established you've spent most of your life on the peaks, from what you've said. But you've heard of Parshman before. This one is very verbose, strangely verbose. And I'd even say for Rav-eth, this is the most you've heard Ztar talk. You know Ztar is intelligent, very intelligent. But this is the most you heard Ztar talk. For sure.
I feel like I'd be pointing out, it's like, and why is it the Parchment's place to decide if I'm trustworthy or not?
Boom.
Over Mickey.
Whoa.
You don't necessarily have, just for Rory's benefit, you don't necessarily have the Aelthi Light Eyes racism. I know this is you saying this about Haz more than it is Hula saying this about Ztar.
That's crazy.
Just so you know, it is up to you how much of the Aelthi or the Vedan approach to Parshman you've taken on.
I mean, the Azisha, especially everyone, isn't it? The Azisha have Parshman.
Yeah, the Azisha have Parshman slaves. They tend to treat them a bit better than the Aelthi. No, it's not that much. It's not great. It's pretty much
It's
everyone.
bureaucracy for treating them like shit.
Yeah. It's formally treat them like shit.
Did the Natans have Parshman slaves at any point or not?
The Natanans don't.
so, right?
The Horneaters don't, and the Shin don't. I don't think the Pure Lakers do, and I don't think the Reshi do. I think they're the only ones that don't. Everyone else kind of does. Carburanth has lots.
I think besides the Shin Horneaters and probably the Natanese, it's more just a costing for the rest of them.
That's a good question. Do the Natan have Parshendi? I don't think I remember any reference of the Parshendi, but I'll check it out. I'll look in the
We've seen
meantime.
almost none of Natan and like full stop. But
We don't. Yeah, we've really seen none of Natan.
does Hula say that to?
Yeah.
To
I would say you're talking a lot
Ztar?
more than the Parchment I've seen that came to the peaks as slaves. So, like, obviously doing trade between the peaks and the lowlanders, I would say Parchment have come and not been.
I decide because trusting you means trusting you with my life. Clearly, I am not what I'm letting the Aelthi around us believe. If we trust you with anything here, I'm the one who suffers the most if it goes poorly.
And do you trust Mickey with your life?
At this point, I've had to, because if I didn't, we would have been stabbed by a bandit attack out on the road to the plains.
Yes. I'm guessing that was a bandit attack that left those men's arms grey and withered out on the caravan train.
Again, I'd probably follow suit with Alaran at that point and give you the I suspect which is the rock that you saw.
Ztar, I think that during this interaction of you speaking a fair bit, it's probably the first time that you notice that Alaran is watching, like giving you attention, and he's trying to work you out in the conversation. It's probably the first time he's like looking at you, and if you like turn to make eye contact through these interactions and crossing, he probably averts eyes, but he was definitely giving you attention for the first time throughout this.
Is Rav-eth able to like use a level of deduction here to like kind of get a read on Ztar? Because this is like a very bizarre interaction that's happening right now.
I probably have opened up a little bit more seeing you return, Rav-eth, because out of everyone that was there before, you were who I was probably leaning most towards trusting, particularly given that out of everyone that you are the most outsidery as well.
Absolutely.
Given the Natanan history as well, I was having a bit of a peekaroo. The Natanan history, I think out of all the people of Roshar, the Natanans are the only ones who would be, and the Shin, the Natanans are the only ones who might have any kind of indication of what the world was like a long time ago. To know,
that's right.
Because there's a lot of pride amongst the Natanans about being the first people, the people of the storm from that far eastern edge of Roshar. It might be even that Rav-eth, you might have even heard stories of singers, not in that current form, but of the people, of Ztar's people, in a roundabout way. Rav-eth, do you want to make, I'm going to say deduction or lore check, your choice.
I'm going to do a lore check in that case. Because it was a better stat for me.
That's so fair. That's why I often offer 2.
Thank you.
Wherever possible, I try and offer multiple skill options. Just makes life easy. It means you can kind of get different information. Like if for example, Rory wants to roll a lore check and Haz wants to roll a deduction check, I'll give you different information. Just holy shit. That's a natural 22. So that's even more we need to. So natural 20. So this is where we get into new territory for Rory. So when you get a natural 20, that is automatically an opportunity. So opportunities occur when you roll the plot dice. You can have opportunities and complications. They also can occur when you roll a natural 20 or a natural 1, or other numbers if your complication range has shifted. Cool. In this instance, that means that you get not just extra information, Rav-eth, but there are some other things that you might be able to do as well. In this moment, Rav-eth, I'm going to say that you are very well versed in your studies. You have spent a lot of time researching and learning about the events that occurred in the past, probably in search of information that might lead to the rediscovery of new medicines. You know that the desolations that have occurred on Roshar, society has had to reset after each one. It is well known that the desolations were so bad that most of the population was killed each time, that technology advancements went back to the Stone Age in some cases. It was awful. And you know that lost knowledge, there might be a hint, a glimmer of information that could lead to rediscovering some lost medicine of the past. And that's why you've spent a bit of time looking through this. You've heard mention of armored figures, people with red carapace, marbled skin. You are very confident Ztar is no ordinary parchment. You know this deep down. Ztar is most likely what the Aelthi are calling a Parshendi, but doesn't seem to be affiliated with them. With your natural 20, with your opportunity, you get the sense that Zatar's kind of on his own path. He's doing something a bit different. And what's more, Ztar is driven by something deep.
Right.
Something that is guiding them forwards. Ztar, is there anything else you think it'd be fair for Rav-eth to know about you in that moment? That's probably pretty...
on a lore check, probably not that. Probably just that much, and probably a bit of general piecing together what the Aelthi have seemed to say about the Parshendi, and that they probably would be multiple ways I might appear.
Yeah. Actually, another thing. Ztar's Aelthi is flawless. No accent at all. Apart from this kind of occasional melodic undertone, Ztar speaks Aelthi very, very well. As well as someone who was born in Alethkar. I think that'd be pretty fair to say too. Ztar has a pretty masterful grasp on Aelthi.
Or at least like a European speaking English better than he would.
Yeah.
I might get tripped up like occasionally like on a particularly like niche word, but to clearly put in time to learn this, and I've been living in the area for a fair while.
Yeah. Rav-eth definitely clocks that.
Sorry, I just had a question. I forgot. Are parchment bread, or are they sort of captured?
Bread.
Bread. Yeah.
Like cattle.
Yeah.
So
expensive cattle.
Yeah. That makes it better.
Prize cattle, where the Kobe.
Yeah, that's it. The Kobe beef. Angus. Yeah, there's a
pristine marbling.
Yeah. That's true. Pristine marbling. That's very true for the.
I would say in this moment then, like as Ztar is talking, we are indeed. As Ztar's chat is talking, there's like almost like a sense of recognition in Rav-eth's like face, and then kind of like he kind of doesn't say anything or doesn't like kind of he's kind of like nods a little and then just kind of like continues like listening in.
See, I think I'd probably clock that. I've gotten quite used to paying attention to the people around me, and as I see that flicker of recognition there, I kind of just give you the little like, yes, we'll talk later. We'll talk later.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
But does that satisfy you, Unkalaki? The risk I take is significant. The risk you take is you've walked in here to find exactly what you were looking for. You are on mute.
He watches the Unkalaki just sort of wordlessly mouths, tonguing at his broken teeth.
I would definitely look a bit suspicious of it still, but I would look at Mickey to see what his vibe is.
Mickey has a big smile plastered on his face as he looks between Ztar and Hula. Goes, "You are friends now, yes?"
Yes, good enough for me. And then I'd give him a big embrace.
Does Ztar want a big embrace?
He doesn't have a choice.
I think I'd probably just freeze. I was like, by Calax stack, let me go.
By Calax stack. Nice.
I like this one's. A pat on the back.
Uncle Hula, it is so good to see you. I am surprised to see you though. Is all well on Peaks?
Oh, my face would kind of drop as I've sort of remembered what I'm here for. Mickey, sit, and then I would gesture and sit down next to him.
Should we do this with others, or should we go?
If you trust them, they can listen. I would basically just assume yes. It's your brother. He's not doing well. He appears to have taken to an illness that we're not sure what, and your mother has sent me to send you home. The fever spread, the rot spread, they're coming around him and we're not sure why. It shouldn't be something he's eaten, but we can't tell what's wrong with him.
But
I've been sent to get you.
I must win shard for family, to elevate family, for Horneaters.
You need to be with your family. Your mother's requested it. Your brother needs you. Done things. When you get to my age and lose family like I have, you'll understand there are things more important than the shard blade.
If my older brother dies, I cannot be soldier anymore. I must.
You must take his place. You are the head of the family when he goes. If he goes, let's not think of that inevitability.
Which is Mickey's face goes very pale for a moment, and then as you quickly correct, he goes, he will live, I am sure. I must make my way back to Peaks.
He wants you by his side.
But my efforts to secure Shotblade, this is I have wasted my life chasing this. If I must now go back,
I'd put one hand on his shoulder and be like, "Is this really what's important to you? Finding the shard blade."
It is most
This is what
important
your
thing.
life means.
Horneaters need Shardblade. This is most important thing. This is how we regain our honor, my uncle.
Then I'll stay here and find it for you. I'll continue your hunt until you return. If
You will-
you return.
If I return, what?
Well, you could be taken over for your brother. Not in an ominous here.
You would do this thing for me. This is great honor if you...
It is your mother's request that you stay at the Peaks and care for the family.
Thank you, uncle. Friends, I have only just added you to the bosom of my heart, but I must now leave. I will return when I am able. If I am able, as he looks towards Hula. But
You'll have your time.
Hula will. He is a strong man and good warrior. He has good heart. Proportional to his broken teeth. As good his heart is how broken his teeth are.
Oh.
Yeah, as Hula
Yes,
smiles, you can see his teeth are like chipped and shattered.
Yes. So for reference, my character's full name, because as you know, Horneaters have a poem, and that is what their name is. It's the one who broke his teeth on metal when he was young and stupid, is what my name translates to. So he's got chipped teeth.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's a point of shame in the old Horneaters, which is why he's not the head of the family, and Mika's sort of brother is a bit.
It's not just the broken teeth. It's what it represents. The like hard-headedness, the not really thinking through consequences of your actions, just kind of acting on impulse. I think that's more. It's more representational, shall we say? And to break a Horneater's teeth is an impressive thing.
Yes, and yeah, so yeah, that's where the name comes from. And so I have the shattered teeth that I'll smile at him to give him hope.
I must go, friends. How long did it take you to come down from mountains? You have been searching for me for long, or you knew where to come?
I chanced upon your companion here as I came down towards the Shattered Plains. Obviously Jester over there, and it's probably taken me a few weeks to get here with a bit of trouble along the way.
Perhaps the gods have guided you here. I will hope the gods grant me speedy return to the peaks. My friends,
They shall.
I will return. We will be reunited, and we will win shard for Horneaters and other things you wish to accomplish.
Aye.
As Mickey smiles at each of you.
I hope that your brother is well. It's what a strange affliction. Do you know much about this sickness, Hula?
No. It's very uncommon for a Horneater to get, frankly, what seems like food poisoning that lasts weeks. Considering our iron stomach.
Yes. No. I am unfamiliar with Horneater and Natan. Well, aside from the normal, but is there what sort of other symptoms are there? Are there any other symptoms that you can recollect?
Oh, Rory, you're really being
in and
thrown
out
under the
of
bus with this bad boy.
He's in and out of consciousness. He's weak. He's rambling. The spren gather.
The rut sprain, yes.
The rut spren. The fever spren.
Oh.
Can't keep his temperature down. And to say it comes out both ends is an understatement.
Oh.
So then I'll give Mickey
Oh,
a pat on
my.
the back.
Well, make sure that I'm sure that you have healers and he's in the best of care, but make sure that your brother is receiving as much fluid as he can drink, and I'm sure the peaks have perhaps some medicinal herbs. I don't know if I could be much help, but please.
Well, it sounds as though you might know a thing or two. Is there anything he should be taking back to the peaks?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Perhaps Gark had some supplies. I'm sure you could take some of the supplies there. I don't know if there were any sort of medical equipment, but there might be something there.
Rav-eth, the pack that you've gone through, whatever your starting kit is, if you chose the healer's kit as your starting kit, I think it was, then everything you've got in that, you've got.
Yep.
Yes.
I am.
Yeah, Hula wouldn't know too much about healing or anything, but he would be like, yes, if whatever you have or any knowledge you have would be greatly appreciated. All we have is, I assume, would be the equivalent of Panadol and the blue flowers with red thorns.
I mean, so let's what would be like the aspirin equivalent? Probably some sort of, I'm going to say there's some sort of like willow bark equivalent in Roshar, some sort of anesthetic, mild anesthetic you can brew into a tea to kind of help with the pain. In terms of nausea and things like that, Rav-eth, you know that charcoal, if it's some sort of poison or something he's eating, charcoal is really good at absorbing all sorts of stuff that you might get into your system.
That'd be a good one because they wouldn't have many trees up there. So
actually, the peaks in the caldera, the peaks are very verdant and lush around the. So once you sort of cross the edge of the caldera and down into the valleys that are at the top of each peak, it's warm. It's incredibly warm, warmer than it is here, Hula. It's beautifully warm. There are hot springs that rise in the very center, almost like volcanic hot springs, and it's a verdant, lush jungle inside each of the peaks. It's very unusual. Not for you. This is very normal for you, but for the others, it's a very unusual thing to imagine.
Yeah, right. I just knew the hot springs.
I probably sort of relay some of that information. Charcoal, if you can get your hands on it, to burn some of the trees there, you might be able to use it as an element, as a remedy. If your brother is afflicted by some sort of poison, by the sounds of it could be.
Poison. Who would do such a thing?
Filthy Aelthi.
I mean, I'm not suggesting it is, but in my from what I can hear, it could be. Hard to know unless you're there.
Where do I insert charcoal?
You can apply it to the. You just crush it and put it in some water, and you can drink it.
Oh, okay, that is easier. I can do that.
Please don't insert it anywhere. You don't need to do that.
Well, this is very serious. Brother is dying. I will not joke about other things. I will gather my supplies and go with it. Thank you, Rav-eth. Thank you, Hula, for helping carry my honor while I am gone. Ztar, Neivien, Alaran, and Gark, I wish you all the best. I will have to catch you when I return. Hopefully, I will be able to find you. Make sure you send when you travel away from this place. Please send letters to Horneater Peaks. If you address it to Mickey, it will find its way to me, and I will come find you when I am able.
At that, Alaran hops up, seeing that he's getting himself ready to go, and he goes to the door of the barracks or something, and opens it up for him. And as he passes to leave, Alaran just says, "You're not leaving your honor behind. Thank you for being a protector out there."
Oh.
Mickey nods, places a hand on your shoulder, Alaran. You are a greater man than you think. You just need to believe. Not light eye noble shit. That is rubbish. Erstic lowlander shit. I mean, good man. Good things. You help others. You do this and you'll be better. You will be better man. Great man even. To be great first must be good. Gives you a nod. Turns and walks away. As Mickey begins to walk down the stairs, make his way back out through the camp, disappearing amongst the crowd of soldiers, beginning to rush out and get ready from their war camp. As the door closes behind you, watch as Gark sort of looks around and goes, "Well, we've traded one strong, buff, young Horneater for one strong, buff, old Horneater."
Twice the experience, twice the fun, eh? And then give him a pat on the back.
I like this one. Also twice as funny. As Gark gives you a big pat on the back, Hula.
Yeah, nice.
Gark is a Theylan man in his sort of late 30s, early 40s. Very tall, very broad-shouldered. Not as tall as you're a Horneater. But he's trimmed his eyebrows back. So rather than really long Theylan eyebrows, he keeps them quite short, but very bushy. The white sort of edges rising up towards his hairline. Neivien sort of looks and goes, "Well, this is all very well, but we're still in a bit of a pickle. I mean, it's good that the caravan's been sorted out, but I've got to be honest. We didn't really share everything we'd learned when we went and spoke with Bright Lady Dala. We kept some of the cards a bit closer to our chest. Mickey and I just felt it was best if we didn't reveal everything straight away. We told her about the attack, but we didn't really tell her who. Ztar, I think you sort of disappeared for a bit. Where did you go?"
I paid a visit to Fanadal's war camp.
And what did you
And,
learn?
Quite a bit. I listened into what a certain Bright Lord Reshi was talking about with Fanadal himself.
Please say more. I don't. There's no need to stop. We're working as a team now. Tell us.
Well, the Bright Lord has apparently lost some jewel or other. It was quite put out, but I overheard talk of what seemed to be referencing the attack, so I think we can be reasonably certain without concrete proof that the attack came via Fanadal. I know not else who was involved, but there were soldiers there that were probably part of the attack that were discussing it, and the involvement of Bright Lord Reshi, who is Rezi, is it?
Rezi, yeah.
Rezi.
Reshi is the Isles.
Yeah.
Hey, this is on Brandon. It's 1 letter difference. Brandon, this is on you, mate. I love you, but this is too simple. I know you're watching.
But the Bright Lord, the Shard Bearer is not in a good mental state. He was getting a talking to from his High Lord to get him back into shape. But their conversation turned towards greater plans, deeper plans.
Right.
I'm sorry. You're saying that this Bright Lord, this armored fellow who came and attacked, he was just letting off some steam?
No, I think he was sent there deliberately, but I think perhaps he was not. He was meant to be more restrained than he was.
Right. Well, I mean, we've got the confirmation that. I mean, the reason we were more careful with information is we didn't want to make any accusations without proof. This does sound like there's proof that it was Rezi. Do you have any idea as to motive? I mean, we've got some evidence now that it's definitely the Thanadel war camp and Bright Lord Rezi. Do we know the motive? I didn't want to make any accusations without being able to back it up.
I don't even think what I found was. I think it proves to us that it was Thanadel. I've known him and his ilk to be deceptive, untrustworthy, and considering themselves above the law for some time now. But the motive, I'm unsure. The definitive proof, I'm unsure. Besides the vague words of these soldiers, Rezi himself was drinking himself into a stupor. Is how I gained access. I brought him wine, but I think this goes much deeper. The task that the High Lord was setting for him after this seemed to be of much higher import than either the attack on us or Rezi's perceived grievances with the Colons and this jewel.
Colon? So the jewel was against one of the Colon. What? Surely not Dalinar. Must be Theylan.
I don't know. Perhaps whatever it is, he lost somewhat spectacularly. It seems it was all anyone was talking about.
Right. I've heard tell that Theylan is supposed to be a pretty good duelist. Alaran, what do you know about this? You'd be more in tune with the Aelthi politics of dueling.
Yes. Alaran is sharing that Theylan is one of the best duelists that the kingdom has. To deny that is to dismiss his own challenges, so he will not do that. And I think you had communicated that Alaran had learnt just before the caravan started that he heard about the Rezi defeat and that it was a humiliation ritual. It was honor, and it was to bait others into conflict and fighting for shards.
Yeah, from what you'd heard, I think you rolled a check on this too at the time. From what you'd heard, it was there was no shards involved. It was just a challenge and honor. It seems like something to do with Dalinar and his reputation, but you're not quite sure any more than that. That news hasn't quite left the Shattered Plains yet. But there was something about that, and Adolin absolutely wrecked Rezi. Like everyone was talking about how this was a duel where Adolin just demolished. It was playing with him, and Rezi was considered one of the best duelists. Until this moment, Adolin hadn't really had a chance to kind of show off what he could do. This is in the books. This is the first time Adolin really is able to kind of unleash and show off how good he is at dueling. This is that first battle we see where he just like absolutely humiliates some dickhead. This is that dickhead. This is Rezi.
And I think part of it's also like the disgrace of that as well, in the sense that it's not just an honorable 1v1. It's I'm going to beat you so bad that it's embarrassing for you to walk around. And it's worse because Rezi is he's the only full shard bearer in Thanadel's contingency, and he is like his star warrior. He was held up as the paragon of the Thanadel camp. He's got an official title, the Royal Defender, and he walked into a duel and got smacked about like a little child who's never held a sword before. You're right. This was humiliation. That's what you remember, what you'd heard. Can I just, in this moment, Alaran remembers looking up and identifying the Royal Defender.
You saw glimpses of yellow armor through the black paint. You were like, oh yeah, this stands out.
Is there any way, with like hindsight and reflecting back on that memory now, that Alaran could question that is who he saw and what he saw, and not some sort of trick to put blame on by another house? Like, is it reasonable to assume that is definitively what I saw, or is there a sliver of doubt that this could have been a much more deceptive trick?
Yeah, a really good question. I would say that this is definitely more falling under a deduction check, but I am also tempted. I'm tempted to also. It really is deduction. I'm just looking through the skills again really quickly. This one is more of a deduction because you're kind of like using the information you had previously, comparing it with what you know now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just recontextualizing that information. All right, I'm going to do a deduction.
I believe. It won't be a natural one. Can't be a natural one. We just had a natural 20.
Did it roll?
Hasn't come through yet. You might have to click like... Are you doing it inside Roll20?
No, I was doing it inside the... Yes, but on the character sheet.
Should still come up. I think you might have to just confirm. Yeah. Hey, here we go. 19 plus 2. 21. Ooh. Alaran. We've already kind of established that Alaran does have a bit of an interest in dueling. For obvious reasons that we haven't really spoke about in detail yet. But Alaran does have a bit of an interest in dueling. You have actually studied a number of the dueling techniques of other high princes, so that if you were to face them in a duel, you might be able to win a shard from them. You know that Rezi favors stone stance. It is his preferred stance to use, this kind of solid, imposing, very, very like defensive style of wielding a shard blade. The first thing you saw this black painted shard bearer do was assume the initial step of stone stance before leaping down into the chasm.
Yeah.
That combined with all the other information you know, it's like a 99% chance this was Rezi. And the reasoning behind it, as you're kind of focusing on it, doesn't make any sense to attack Bethab unless he's trying to do something to pin this on the Colons. If this is all about getting back at Adolin for humiliating him, there's another part to this you haven't seen unfold yet.
I think Alaran's still very motivated by, I need to let Bethab, as like a loyal servant of Bethab, know this. But he's had 2 moments of doubt in the last like 48 hours of trusting the people in superior positions, and he's starting to like hesitate. There is a like he needs to work this out before he does that, and there's a real conflict with him, and it's causing pause because old Alaran would, as a young boy, just run and dob, and that is what he wants to be doing in this moment to Bethab to get that I guess like immediate resolve. But I think that with Naivien's guidance in the last 24 hours, it was very clear that we need to be thinking more carefully.
Yeah, Neivien kind of pushed, we need to have evidence. We can't just go accusing high princes of things without kind of evidence, or you'll end up in a much worse... Yeah, yeah. Naivien's like, it's one thing accusing, it's another thing proving. We've got to have proof before we say anything. Alaran, you... Oh, sorry, yeah. Rav-eth.
No. So, okay. That's quite an interesting thought. So the hypothesis at the moment is that this Theylan noble shard bearers decided to come in and attack this caravan, and then pin it on another noble house? Is that what we're thinking?
Aelthi? But yeah, sure. Thanadel, we think, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
I think that whatever their plan was with our caravan is very secondary to whatever they're planning next. Whether they're related or not, I do not know. But the way they were talking, what they were working on next, what he needed Rezi to get back into mental shape for, was far more important, far more interesting to the High Lord, far more necessary than whatever this was. Whether they're related at all, he was talking the way he talked. This was kind of a life's work kind of plan that they were putting into play here.
Given how much death and destruction followed this attack on the caravan, I'm really scared to imagine what the greater part of this plan might look like. I think if we're going to do something about this, we need to do it fast and we need to do it under the radar.
That seems like a reasonable assessment. This is all a bit much. My knowledge of noble houses is limited. But I'm not sure. I am lost for words. Okay. Yes. Well, perhaps we need to... What would you suggest? Should we go to the Bethab house first, or should we do a bit of a reconnaissance of the Thelans? I feel as though that might be unwise.
I know. All the names is fucking similar. Theylan and Thanadel. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that mix up as well. It's all good.
It all the time. Don't worry.
Alaran and what's your tits?
Naveen, thank you. These are spectacular tits, I'll have you know. I shouldn't say that.
The most of these Aelthi, if we were to find proof that Thanadel himself had ordered this attack, or proof of whatever it is he's doing now, does telling Bethab put us any further towards stopping it? Does the Aelthi legal code actually help us to stop this? In my experience, the law can be lacking when it comes to bringing those with power to justice.
As you're speaking, Alaran's like nodding, and then when you finish, he says, no. It just means that Bethab's in a position to take his play back against Thanadel.
I was going to say, I agree with Alaran. I think the best thing we can do is warn them, so at least they know when more things are coming. But unfortunately, I think you're right, Ztar. I don't think there's much in the way of justice here. It's more about preventing further tragedy than it is about avenging or gaining recompense for past ones.
But if we are unable to stop them, are we signing up to be pawns in a game of chess for these light eyes, or do
we
we?
may already be.
Sorry.
Dragonlets? No, what is it in?
What is it that Adelin plays all through Wind and Therapy?
I'm blanking on it too.
Towers.
Towers, thank you, Towers.
Pawns in a game of Towers.
Are we just towers in a game of towers? I think we already are, Ztar. I think us surviving has kind of already put us in the eye of the storm, so to say. I mean, whichever way we go, we're going to run into the storm wall. At least this way we kind of choose a direction and forge our own path.
Can I just say, if the wrong person hears our accusation, we all die.
No,
Probably.
I will not die. They will think me a punishment, and I will be sold as a slave yet again.
Okay, well, we'll all die, and you'll be a little bit sad about that, won't you, Ztar?
No, I would rather die with you than become that again.
Okay. We're going to do
I
it.
will for now, but to be actually put back in chains, I've lived my whole life with freedom. I don't expect you to fully understand, but freedom is my people gave up everything for freedom. To have that taken away was, and to have it stripped from me, to never mind.
No, I understand. The freedom is a very powerful thing. I feel a little bit bad for our new friend here, Hula. I think you've stepped into something much larger than I.
Yeah, you've really walked into the White Spine's nest, Hula. Sorry about that. You can see Hula's just kind of digesting the information.
Hula.
Rory, that's you.
It was perfect.
Hey, Raph. It took Raph 3 sessions to learn his own character's name. So you're already ahead. Well, you're not yet.
That's hilarious.
You're in pace.
Yeah.
I imagine you're just asleep.
Yeah.
Hula's drifted off.
Hula's just zoning out.
Yeah.
Huna's just thinking, geez, Mickey kind of just walked off into that high storm, didn't he?
You've really, You just thought Mickey was like looking for a shard blade. You were like, this will be a piece of piss. There's a bunch of people. We'll walk around. It's going to be too hard to get a shard blade. I don't have to do any work. And then suddenly they're talking about a conspiracy involving high princes and some sort of attack. I mean, this is you didn't sign up for this, but you're stuck here now. You promised Mickey. You made an oath that you would take his place with this group.
Yes, I'm fully in his place now. I'm thinking, what a ragtime team.
So, by pure virtue of being a survivor of that attack, kind of puts a target on our back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I think Hula's kind of stuck now, because if they know a Horneater survived, I don't think they're going to be trying too hard to differentiate. I think they're going to see a Horneater with us and just assume you're the Horneater who survived, Hula. So sorry about that. You also are now one of us in that regard as well.
Yeah, he's exactly like his father then, isn't he? Just getting into me all sorts of trouble.
We don't really know Mickey's father, but that's good to know. I'm going to note that one down.
Yes, me too. I'll keep that for later. Okay, this is unsettling then.
Do you have any questions, Hula? Is there anything you want to know more? I mean, we've kind of thrown you in the White Spine's den with this one. Well, Mickey has.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I feel like I got the gist of it from hearing the stories with the campers when we were in the alcove. And so I'd sort of know a fair bit and lead on that I was talking to them and gathering information at the same time, because whilst I was being fairly chill, I would have been interested and sprying information.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously, So I'd be pretty good. I wouldn't necessarily be asking for too much information. I'd just be acting like I'm still pretty chill in there for the ride.
Okay, yeah. So you're playing your cards a little bit close to your chest.
Them. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm only really here because it's going to get me to the goal of the Shard Gate eventually. I haven't been through the sort of trial by fire with the team yet.
Right.
I'm just here because Mickey says, and I trust him. But
Alaran has a question for you on that, which is, if you've got no questions, I've got one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you good with that weapon? And what weapon are you carrying?
I've got an axe and a shield. And it's like, I'm as good as I need to be with it and use it only when I have to.
Cool. Because Mickey took out, I think it was like 2 axe hounds yesterday.
You're right.
Mickey was pretty badass.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I'm a bit older and a bit slower, but I think I can handle myself against a few axe hounds.
That's good, because Neivien and I were not so useful. We're going to need you to keep us safe.
Yeah, can do.
You watch as Gark sort of looks around for a moment, nods and goes, well, sounds like we've got a few different options ahead of us for what we want to do next. I'm wondering what we do. Any ideas?
If the law won't let us bring Fanart to justice, if telling Bethab essentially just makes us, at best, in Bethab's employ, then it seems the logical step is to infiltrate Fanar's camp and murder him and his family.
Oh.
That is a plan, yes.
And his family?
Specifically his children.
Why his children, Ztar?
They're grown up, but they're elderly children. His son will return to the war camps in the next day or two. I overheard.
I'm not. Which is Gark looks around, not really sure how to respond.
It would solve the problems. No more plan. No more Fanadol.
Might still have a shard bearer to deal with as well. Don't forget what he did to the caravan. Don't forget his sword and the damage that brought.
We can kill him too.
You make it sound so easy.
Can we kill him, Ztar? I'm not
this far away from him just earlier tonight.
But you didn't kill him. Why not?
Because I wanted to talk with you all first before starting a potential international incident.
Do you think you could have killed him?
I gave him a bottle of wine. It would have been a simple thing to drop something in it. Rav-eth, surely you would know something that I could add to a bottle of purple that would...
Well, I have a bottle of poison right here, but that's besides the point. We should... Neivien, this is a bit...
No, I'm considering it. I'm just thinking it through.
Okay.
I understand Ztar might be able to get in and do something. I'm just concerned about the exit and for all the rest of us. I mean,
would we want to let Bethab know? Or are we just a rogue agent in this case? Are we just...
Well, if we're going Operation Murder the Fanadol household, I don't think Bethab should or would want to know.
I'm just concerned about our survivability of even getting close to Bethab. I mean, Ztar, I think from the sounds of it, you didn't have too much trouble, but the rest of us, there's a high chance that Rezi or any one of the soldiers that we're fighting might recognize us. I mean, we do kind of stand out, particularly Rav-eth right now.
Yes. That might be a little bit hard for me to be a bit incognito.
And Hula too as well. I mean, you're like 7 feet tall. You literally just stand out. That's still you, Rory.
Yeah, I remember this time. It's just like, but not if I do this, and then I'll sort of hunch down a little bit.
You're still taller than everyone else in the room by about half a head. Easily. Even like hunching over, you're still fairly tall.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that we do Operation, what did you call it, Ztar? Murder Thanadel and his whole family?
Murder Thanadel. It's a working title.
Okay. I'm not saying we do that or don't do that. I'm just saying we should keep our options on the table. Now, the question is, how doable is it for us to get in and get out? I'm concerned about our survivability on this. I don't think the chances of us living through this are particularly high. Not all of us, anyway. There's got to be some other way that we can ensure justice is served, as you said, Ztar, without all of us dying in the process, or without some of us dying in the process, or without starting a war that just leads to more people dying. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that Thanadel, his camp, won't just kind of fall apart if he's dead. Someone else will take over, and they'll be seeking retribution. And if they can't find who it is, my experience with the Light Eyes, they find someone who looks guilty instead. If they can't find the actual guilty party, we might lead to even more death and destruction if we do this.
But innocent being punished for our deeds is not fair. Alaran, you mentioned that the attack may well have been a response to Rezi's pride about this Colin boy. They escorted us here. They seemed better than most. What if the enemy of our enemy is our friend? I know you're somewhat enthused by this whole Bethab prospect, but maybe he isn't our best bet for dealing with this problem.
Naveen's going to pull out some paper and a quill and write down the plan on the top of the page, and then write down option A, murder Thanadel's family. Option B, go to Collins. Yeah, she's going to do like the whole like the Mistborn crew writing down the different plans.
Oh, great.
The options.
Great.
On that, I think hesitation for the Collins, that, you know, the houses in Alaran's mind are all kind of like fighting for their own dominance under the king, and there is like a sense of like hesitation and resentment, and even the, like, you know, Collins were really seeming good compared to everyone else, is kind of like an eye roll for Alaran in his mind. But do we know that Thanadel's behind it? Like, we saw Rezi there, and I know Rezi works for Thanadel, but
whether Thanadel did the attack on us or if it was Rezi acting as a rogue agent, whatever they're planning next goes so far beyond a simple attack on a caravan.
I agree, but it doesn't make sense for a High Prince to send his Royal Defender a 2-day march away from him to attack a caravan and not take away any loot. It's a risk. It doesn't make sense. We need more information. We need to be listening. We need to be looking. We need to be watching stuff. We need to find out what they're doing.
Alaran, you watch as Gark nods. Gives you a bit of a half smile and nods. He seems to agree.
Alaran, during the attack, you were rather close with the Bright Eye lady. What happened there? What transpired? I was meaning to talk to you about that.
Good question, Rav-eth.
There's a hesitation with Alaran as he's like processing this and realizing that he's kind of like packed this away and not said it. And as he looks to everyone watching him, he's like, she was running away, but she had bags packed.
So she knew the attack was coming?
She told me to make myself useful. She threw me her bags. And then they nearly caught us. And she left me behind. I think she knew that the attack was coming.
So you were planning on leaving us as well?
Yeah. They were gonna kill us. And I was running away.
Seeing him actually just outright admit that I'm not going to twist the knife any further.
There's a deep shame there, Ztar, that you can see on Alaran's face. There's self-loathing for this. This is a moment of shame for him. Deep shame.
So that's information. That's something we could work with.
That's what I've been trying to piece together, because she's been super important for Bethab for years. And as we walked up to his camp, I can't think of that camp without thinking of her. She was in charge of the caravan for him.
Well, clearly she has either always has or has now swapped allegiances to someone. Whether that someone is Thanatel, but I can't help but think if she knew about the attack, then it stands to reason that she organized the attack.
I half expected to find her at Bethab's camp when we got here. That's why I was quiet. I actually didn't know what to do if we saw her. I think she might have been the one to make whatever happened happen. They knew where we were, and she was packed. And she was surprised when I ran to her.
We might need to find her then. She's a witness, possibly knows more information. At the very least, I think we should try and find out where she's gone. Because she got away, right? She wasn't amongst the wounded or the dead.
How did she get away? Some sort of device, or?
She was just quicker than me, and I was carrying her bags.
Oh.
Maybe she had some sort of transport waiting for her. Hula, you didn't happen to see any, from what Rav-eth was saying, you traveled along the same road behind us. You didn't see any tracks or anything that might have indicated. Do you want to make? I'm just going to say, do you want to make a survival or a perception check to see if Hula did notice anything while you were out and about traveling along the plains? Because you walked right past the edge of the ambush site. You might have seen something.
That makes sense.
Let's see. Did Hula notice anything? And it was after as well, so that's literally a day after. Perfect.
Yeah.
While that's happening, would it be reasonable for Neivien and I to use a lore check to consider what we know about Lady Ralinat?
Yeah, so if you've got the Aelthi expertise, you get a little bit already, and then the laws for deeper information. That's a 12. That's a 12, Hula. Yeah, you did actually, as you were traveling along the road, there were cart tracks just off the side, as if a wagon had been waiting. And interestingly enough, and this kind of is what stood out to you, there was a single mark, a single diamond mark just sitting on the road, not dusty, so it can't have been there for too long. Certainly hasn't been there, has to have been there since the last high storm. This would not have been left there if a high storm had blown over. So, you picked it up, added it to your stash. Why not?
Yep.
That did stand out to you as a bit weird, as if someone had kind of left in a hurry, perhaps, or had just fallen off a wagon. But it looked like there'd been some sort of wheeled wagon or cart waiting off towards the side for some time. A few scuff marks around it. Must have been pretty fresh to have not been blown away by the wind. And for the mark to just be sitting there, out in the open, still infused fully with stormlight. That was interesting. Yeah.
Then I'd relay that. And just be like, I didn't really think much of it at the time, and then I'd just pull out the mark and be like,
big pile of chull dung there as well, as if the chull had been waiting there for a while too. Yeah. So maybe some other.
I pull that out of it.
Yeah, pull out some dried chull dung. Burns quite well actually. So that kind of indicates all with a 12 that there was a cart or a wagon or a carriage waiting for someone for a bit of time, and then picked them up and took them away.
So yeah, I'd relay that and be like, what's the mark's denomination again?
There's brooms, chits. I've got the full list of all things, but in the RPG, it's all just marks to make life really, really easy. So it's just a single mark is what you found, is what we're going to call it. But it was for the purposes of the imagination for those who are fans of the books, it was a single diamond chit. that you found, but it is a mark in this instance.
Yep. Right. Then I'll put that back in my pocket instead of adding it to the party stash.
It's your lucky chip.
It's my lucky chip.
Chip, I think it is.
It doesn't seem likely that Lady Ralana would have gone back to the Death camp.
No.
Perhaps she's gone to one of the other noble classes, probably the Fanart camp by the sounds of it, if she's decided to change allegiances.
Unless there are multiple parties working together.
There could be another house, yes.
No, I guess you were all coming to the Shattered Plains for a reason. I was coming here because I was being forced to, but there exists a third possibility. We don't get involved in this Aelthi nonsense and we leave. I'm not sure I could live with myself, but it is certainly an option.
You watch as Neivien writes down just storming leave as one of the options.
It's not a terrible idea. The thought had crossed my mind. And yet, I feel as though there's much work for me to do here. Still.
I can't leave. I've got to meet with Brightness. I've got to meet with complete blank. Brightness Navani. Yeah, I'm having a mental blank. I've got to meet with Brightness Navani. My mistress sent me here on important missions. At the same time as Neivien goes to say that, Gark goes, I can't leave either. Tazo is offering me some exciting mercantile opportunities that we all want to be involved in. And you watch as Gark gives a really odd, wide-eyed nod.
Gark, would you have something you'd perhaps like to share with us? You did also go off on your own. I spoke of what I did.
The really cool items we all got. I got them from Tazo. He's setting up a merchant's shop sort of thing with contacts, and I've agreed to help him. And in return for all this cool stuff, it's a little itty-bitty favor we might need to do for Tazo.
What do you mean we?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all of us got this cool stuff. We might need to keep an eye out for stuff, information to give to Tazo to help him with his mercantile contacts.
What kind of stuff are we keeping an eye out for?
Information that might be useful on items of value, like gemstones and stuff. You know, interesting things.
Gark, when you say that you're a merchant, do you mean you're a criminal?
No. I'm a merchant. I may sometimes acquire goods in a way that is flexibly legal.
Okay, Alaran's eyes just leave Gark and start making eye contact with everyone, saying, "That's a yes."
No. Look, like the items that I collected while we were dealing with the fallout from the ambush. Items like swords and things that I lugged all the way back here and sold. No, they just were going to rust out there. I made sure they've been provided a second chance at being useful. And that I got some spheres out of it as well, which also helped purchase all of our cool shit.
So did you purchase the cool shit, or did you offer our services without talking to us?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Can I roll for bullshit detection?
Luckily, just like in D&D, you can shout insight check at me, and it is a legitimate skill you can use.
Yeah.
I prefer mine, but I will roll that. 14.
I like our three options. Kill them all, tell on them, storm off. It's quite funny. That's what's written on the page right now. 14. 14. Just leave. 14 for the insight check, Ztar. Gark is not sharing everything. But what he said was true. Gark does not consider himself a criminal. So Alaran's kind of accusation that he didn't love that. That did kind of hurt a little bit. He sees himself as a merchant who sometimes has to make decisions and make choices that take them outside the restrictive bounds of what others consider legality. But there is more here he's not sharing, for sure. You don't think it's anything particularly malicious or serious? The other thing that stands out to you with an Insider 14, you met Tazo. You talked with Tazo. You didn't talk. You heard Tazo. Yeah. Tazo didn't come across as a man who was like particularly well organized. And also, where did all this stuff come from? Tazo arrived on the Shattered Plains in scraps of clothing, having been attacked by axe hounds, and lost his entire party that he was with, including his brother. Tazo, there's someone else involved. Tazo's not, like, what Gark is describing does not match up with what you know of Tazo.
I think the thing I would have been trying to work out the most is, like, I said, what information do we need to share? And he's like, oh, it's like merchant stuff.
Yeah.
Is it actually merchant stuff, or is that part leading more towards a criminal aspect?
The mention of gemstones he threw aside as a bit of an offhand comment. Actually, genuinely, he really needs to find out some information concerning gemstones. You get the sense that that's 100%. He kind of did it offhand, but actually, genuinely, he needs that information. So that's what he's been asked to look into.
Right now on that, is there anything like common knowledge about gemstones apart from them being used for currency?
Gemstones hold stormlight. The better cut the gemstone is, the longer it can hold stormlight for, which is really useful for transporting stormlight. For use in Fabrials, for use in soulcasters, for things like that.
I don't know how you feel about being indentured to this Tazo fellow.
I wouldn't use the word indentured. Just a favor for a favor. It's nothing serious.
And pray tell, where did Tazo get all of these cool shit that you've provided to everyone else?
Yes.
His store in the outer market. There is a chance we can go around and have a chat with him if we find out anything useful concerning gemstones.
Are we able to just have a chat with him regardless?
Probably.
I would like to see his store and the items that he has for sale.
Yes, well, I think we could send a message and meet with Tazo.
I don't understand why we can't just meet him.
Oh, he's very busy. He's very, very busy setting the shop up. We need to make sure he's there. He might not be there. If we send him a message, we'll make sure he's there and meet him.
Okay.
He's sourcing items for the shop. More items. Not these ones. Other items.
I'm really wishing we had this conversation before we had the whole secret plans and working together in the Shattered Plains conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very trustworthy. I'm also not Josh, and Josh isn't here, and I have him to play his character Gark.
I think I'm just going to turn my attention back to Neivien and the list, seeing kill everyone along them, storm off, and find Ralanat.
Fourth option. She said she's written down find the bitch.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's probably a good thing for us to have written down. Rather, if anyone finds this note,
to be honest, kill them all as the first thing written on a page underneath. The plan is not good.
Drops note in the court. Someone picks it up.
Alaran, you actually can't read. As you look over, you see a bunch of lines and scribbles and triangles. You do not read women's script.
Yeah, I can't read it. But I just recite what was described and look to Neivien for like, is that what we have?
Yeah. That's as far as I figured, they're the options we've got. I'm leaning more towards option 4 and away from option 1 if I had to give my opinion on it. Just because I do think there'd be serious consequences for killing the High Lord, and I don't think it would stop. This would branch out and cause problems for everybody. A lot of innocent people I can see getting caught up in this.
I'll put it this way: the last time the Aelthi had a plan that sounded like this, your king died, and if that didn't happen, the world was ending. So, swings and roundabouts.
I'm definitely leaning more towards 4 after that.
Alaran's really thinking about what if this attack on the caravan wasn't the inciting incident but a retaliation.
Do you share that, or is that just you thinking about it?
I think I ask it kind of half whispered, half aloud. Like, just it's a thought to myself that I say out loud right in front of Neivien. Everyone can probably hear it if they're not in a separate conversation.
If it was retaliation, Brotherwise wouldn't have known, surely, unless she was the one organizing it. But why would she want revenge against a random caravan?
I'm just saying that an attack here triggers somebody else to take an attack, and right now you're saying we should go in there and kill them for what they did, but
I didn't say we should. I was just okay. No, I mean, sure, I would do it, but like I was just putting out all of our cards.
Alaran, or even Neivien here. Does the lady have any sort of connection with this Resi? This shard bearer? Do they have any sort of connection together?
They belong to the same house. They both, as far as I know, Alaran loyal to Bethab. I mean, that's what I. Oh, sorry, no, Resi's loyal to Thanadel.
Yeah.
No, I don't know then.
No,
Neivien doesn't know a huge amount about this stuff.
With my Aelthi cultural heritage and having her be a significant figure, I think I would know that she has connection to another house in the north, but like nothing to do with Thanadel. Thanadel's like close by. Like if anything, they're just like constantly in conflict because they're bordering.
Does the family in this other house in the north, did they have anything against? I know. I mean, I don't know this much myself, but I'm just trying to make connections, logical connections where I can. So, facts, right? This Resi character gets in a duel with who was it again?
Adolin Colin.
Adolin Colin, and what house is he a part of?
Colin.
Okay.
Colin. He's the cousin of the king.
Right. Cousin of the king.
Son of the Blackthorn. Surely you've heard of the Blackthorn.
Okay. I have. Okay. Yeah. That rings a bell. I've heard of Blackthorn in my travels.
Eldest son of the Blackthorn.
It seems to me, and look, again, not really into this whole noble Aelthi nonsense, but just logically going through the symptoms of it all. It seems like your lady, Relinat, must have something going on with this Resi character, because how else could they have arranged this? I mean, for a shardbearer to just turn up and for your lady Relinat to already be aware of this and to be packing her bags, there must be some sort of connection there that we're not seeing. Maybe there's a mutual benefit for this attack. Maybe they can pin it on a house, further themselves. I don't know. But it seems insignificant in the scheme of things, surely.
It's not insignificant. It's the heritage of the entire kingdom. What you're talking about is the interplay between the houses' power for the last, since Sadius the Sunmaker. It's the United Kingdom of Aliskar. what you're saying is that it doesn't matter, but it does matter. These people hold grudges for generations. They're holding out for esteem and power over one another, and that's their life. This is the thing that has Alakab exist. These kingdoms running.
That's
half of the continent.
Eesh. Storms.
Alaran just like points out at all this. This is power of Althkar. It's contest. It's conflict.
It's more
Ztar.
bodies to kill.
As the others are talking, you hear the sound of something, cloth sliding over stone, and then the very gentle sound of something bumping, something hollow. It's quiet, almost imperceptible, but with your perception of +5, you pick it up.
I immediately hold my hand up to Sazin. There is something coming here, listening, quiet. And then I properly focus in on that.
The room you're currently in is away from the bedrooms. There's no window in this particular section. It's set almost like a sitting room to the front of this low set building that you're currently occupying. The sounds seem to come from one of the bedrooms behind you. There's 2 corridors leading away from this main room. One for, because this is a soldier's dorm, this normally would have been occupied by only men, but given you guys are a bit of a mixed group, you sort of split this area up into two different areas for sleeping. The sound came from the one to the left, soft and quiet. As you pause now and listen, you can't hear anything anymore. You swear you heard something, Ztar.
I'll talk no more on this. I'll be back in a moment, and then I'm going to try and slip out the front door and make my way, because it's like a separate room, right? So there's another door into it.
There's 2 corridors. So there's the front area that leads out of the sitting room, and then on the left and right walls. So if you're facing forward, you've got the front door out towards the war camp. Left and right are 2 curtains that cover a corridor that lead into the 2 rooms for sleeping, the 2 bedrooms that lead off this main area here. The one towards the left is the one that you heard the noise come from.
Then I'll slip through the curtain and see.
As you pull apart
I'll
the curtain,
immediately drop into like my most parchment looking like pose. It look like I'm there to do menial tasks.
as you pull apart the curtains, Ztar, getting ready to head into the next room, you spy 3 figures clad in black. Their eyes, the only part of them that's visible, this slit. And you watch as they turn towards you, one of them lifting up this strange-looking tube. As you hear this gasp of breath, and that is where we're going to leave things for tonight. We are going to be jumping back in next episode to see the fallout of this particular set of circumstances. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight, everybody. I'm sorry we started a little bit later than normal. Just my fault getting stuff up and running with the technical side of things, but we are all good to go now. Everything should be running beautifully, butter smooth. The only other thing I need the players to think about, obviously their decisions, but the other thing I need you guys to think about over the next few days is what group collective name we should refer to you as. And if you have any suggestions, chuck them in chat. I'd love to see them. The Kremlings feels a bit derogative and not particularly friendly. As a big Princess Bride fan, I thought Kremlings of unusual size could be quite funny as well, but I actually want to use that as a specific enemy for you to face in the future. So I've done up a stat block for Kremlings of unusual size, so we'll see them in a future episode. But yeah, if you've got any suggestions for a collective group name, I'd love to hear them, because there's so many good group names and organizations in Cosmere. You've got like the Sons of Honor, the 17th Shard, the Ghost Bloods. I want something good. Something good. Give us a suggestion if you think of any good ones. Chuck them in the chat. Chuck them in either Twitch or YouTube. Let me know.
It's
has.
just something like, is this a meta like thing? Is this for us as the players to refer to us as, or is this an in-game thing that we would call our group by? That's going to be very different for what.
Eventually, I will need an in-game group name for you. For now, I was more thinking like a fun thing I could use as part of the recap, but I will eventually need an in-group name for you. Something that your actions might be referred to by people in the world. It might be like the white spines have struck again, something like that, something fun. So think of, got any suggestions? Chuck them in the chat. I'll be thinking as well.
Yeah. We need something that is fun when you first hear it, but loses its effect the more you hear it. The V-sharp.
That's it. Look, awesome sauce. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you all again next week. Rory, thank you so much for joining us. It is wonderful to have you jump in as Hula. It's always tricky jumping in with a new character without the context of the episodes. However, I think you've done an awesome job, and now that you are fully embroiled, you've heard all of the theories, all of the situation. I think you're ready to rock and roll from now on. But any questions, just message me or message the group, and we'll make sure.
Remember, you are Hula.
You are Hula. Your name is Hula. You picked this name yourself.
I did. I probably could have put Rory in the name and just gone with that.
Rory.
Yeah,
look, as I easily could have as an Unkalaki. You had a lot of ways to squeeze in your name somewhere in there. Rory.
Yeah.
If you wanted to really, like an elven pronunciation. But look, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will be back next week with more Cosmere, with more episodes of Echoes of Honor. On Tuesday night, we've got our Tales from the Yawning Portal campaign, and on Wednesday night, we've got our D&D campaign, Return of the Giants. So plenty of good stuff to watch. I've still got new episodes of Pokemon Legends ZA coming out every other day. Perfectly timed. I think we're going to absolutely finish the main campaign right as the DLC comes out. I could not have timed it better myself. Completely coincidental. No. It was really intentional. I worked really, really hard to make sure that was the case. You're welcome. Now, let me get a raid up and running. None of our usual friends are streaming tonight, which is a bit of a shame. So we will go and jump in and raid one of the groups we have not raided before. Let's go and raid Boom Meadow. It looks like they're playing a campaign called Equinox, which is a pretty cool name. Let's go and get that raid up and running. But remember, for all of you watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, make sure that you don't share the information with your friends. Act really suspiciously by leaving a comment below. Insult your friends by kind of suggesting that they're supposed to be slaves by leaving the like button, which is what Rory has done tonight for Haz. Not Hula to Ztar, that was Rory to Haz, very specifically that one.
Yeah.
And make sure you hit the subscribe button by stepping up and becoming not just a great man, but a good man. Awesome. We will see you all next time, everybody. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and see you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.